Hello folks, welcome back to my channel. This is The Deranged Reader, and on this channel I do horror book hauls, horror book reviews, both physical and digital, horror film reviews, and so much more. So I'm finally done with this author's collection of short stories. I am so glad to be done with it. So the last one is about, I cannot pronounce his name because it's Roman, but this takes place during the time when Christianity was spreading upon, in the Roman Empire. This takes place in a place called Gaul, which I believe is Germany now. And he's basically traveling, just basically doing what people do. You travel, you see, you meet people, and all that type of stuff. He has very little money, but people treat him with kindness and give him food and, all that type of stuff. And he encounters a elderly man who, he kind of befriends, and, he's very nice to him and everything. Because he's hospitable, he treats people nicely. And people in return treat him nicely. And he warns them that there is a part of the forest do not go down to. And warns them about there's this temple of death and everything like that. And so he agrees, yeah, I'm not going to go over there because, who wants to go to a temple of death? And somehow, somebody, he ends up the temple of death. And there is this guy who is, basically, he's the priest. His job is to do what pagan priests do. Which is literally almost the same thing Christian priests do, but without the blood sacrifice of a living thing. And they kind of strike a conversation, and it's all hospitable and everything, until the beast comes out of the den. And so, literally, you have this Roman guy who literally kicks this beast's ass and kills him. And, of course, right before the beast shows up, this priest goes and confesses to him about, what he did when he was younger. He was in love with this girl, and his brother was insanely jealous of him, decided to make him suffer. He got back at him. Personally, I didn't feel bad for the oldest son at all. And the oldest son was the priest of this temple, so he had to go and take his place. He things happened. And, of course, the priest of death dies, but before he dies, he is converted to Christianity, and he gets buried. And at the end of it, the temple of death, after it's cleansed, and, of course, your usual thing that Christians used to do back then, which is, of course, destroy and deface statues, it is turned into a church for the Christians. This is typically your typical story of, Christianity overcoming paganism, or polytheism, if you want to be historically accurate. And I kind of look at the story of this comes from somebody who absolutely believed that polytheism or polytheists were evil, nasty people, uncivilized, unwashed, uneducated, all that type of stuff. It was an interesting story, but it's, using tropes that we're very familiar with in historical contents and things like that. Anyways, all in all, I enjoyed all the stories that he wrote. So I'm now on E.F. Benson, and he was born in 1867 and died in 1940. And oh boy, he's got a lot of stories. He's got he has 25 stories. And it's going to take me 7 hours and 43 minutes to read this. So I'm actually, I am going to take my time with it, and everything. But yeah, it is going to be some time. But anyways, I am done with it. I am probably going to read um, 2 stories every time I'm off. So it's going to be, I'm going to be reading through his collection of short stories probably all through the month. Well, the first 2 on Tuesday, and then the rest of the entire month of April. This is going to be a very long book. Anyways, that is my video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next time. So until then, stay spooky, stay scary, and keep reading your horror books. Bye.